Hello everyone and welcome to New Beginnings, my everyday life in rural Cyprus. Yes, I'm back and thank you for all the concerned messages on my other channel on Friday. I don't know if it starts playing if I'm not here or what it does, but a lot of you noticed that I wasn't here on Friday when I had my scheduled live on Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty, and I did tell you I was going to a specialist hospital. I was only going for a check, and I ended up like, oh, what's that you're giving me? Oh, an anaesthetic. So it went far beyond what I imagined my time would be there. So of course I wasn't here for my live. So thank you for your messages, much appreciated. I'm back as normal here. So yeah, a little unexpected hospital treatment there. So never think, oh, I'm just going for a check. No. Anesthetic and beyond. So there we go. So that's why I wasn't here on my live on Friday. As I always say, if one's scheduled or if I don't say I'm not going to be here, something has gone a bit awry. Yes. But as I say, back to my normal, which some people that would be quite devastating for if they were my normal. But yes, I'm back here. Okay, let's get today rolling straight away. And let's do the first topic of today. Let's begin with this. And I must say that I've just done about, more than 80, over 100 copyright strikes, yes, all for exactly the same few bits of music, which is everything I use on these lives for these interludes. And they are all listed as free music in one section, much like some of you use YouTube music that they say is free to use and then you find out it isn't. And I've just told strikes might say, well, why not use those interludes? I'm like, that's exactly what YouTube wants for you to do, not use other free content. And they've all come back today. Oh, yes, that's fine. You can use it. So you have to do your disclaimer. It is okay to use. I just put jargon up that I have screenshots of it saying it's absolutely free, but they still do it. They just want you to switch to their music. So don't be disheartened if you ever get a copyright strike. I can tell you how to do it easily. As I said, just up there, click, 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 and I copy and paste everything. It's fine. But they want me to stop using the interludes. I did debate on that for about 5 minutes, and it was actually John and Sarah from Two Doves, Bees and Gardens that were actually saying on one of my recent lives, really love all those little intro bits and all your little interlude bits. So that's staying. It's pretty much the same as if you were going to, I don't pay for music. So if you don't pay for music, under your videos, you have to do music credits. So in my mind, that's exactly the same as that. And in some ways, it's better to do the dispute because I couldn't sit down and go, oh, I used that bit intro, I used that bit. I won't remember what I've used. So in that way, it's good. We've got to say good morning to Steve and Tina Jewell. So thank you so much for being here. And guys, do go and check out their channel, Steve and Tina Jewell. Oh, Steve's saying we've started making our own music now. Ooh, if you want to send that over and let me play it. And then just give you one credit at the end, that would be great. It annoys me because I do put the credits under my live of the music I've used, and then when you get the dispute, I put the same thing up, and yes, it's okay to use it, and it's multiple times over exactly the same pieces. Now it says everything to a channel host that if you make false claims, blah, 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 blah. But it doesn't say anything to this third party, which is YouTube. It says Hawk, but it's third party. The third party they call Hawk is YouTube. And it doesn't say anything that they can repeatedly keep saying claims against you using the music and they get no penalty. So anyway, so we're going to talk Cyprus today. Today is a very special day in Cyprus. It is a big major holiday and it is called Green Monday. So I will read you a little bit about that. Green Monday begins the 40 days of fasting pre-Easter. The celebrations begin from the carnival period, which accumulates with Green Monday. Green Monday marks the start of the 40 days of fasting until Easter, which symbolises the 40 days that Jesus spent in the desert. Despite the fact that the Greek Orthodox religion plays a significant part in the lives of Cypriot, the most devout does abstain for the whole 40 days, while some people will fast for only the Wednesday and the Friday. The most important week for fasting is Holy Week, when the majority will join in. Easter is a time for the new. Housewives undertake a thorough spring cleaning of the house, whilst repairs are made to new clothes for those best bought. During the actual Holy Week, the baking begins and church services are attended. With Easter comes a range of delicious seasonal baked goods. In the bakeries, you'll find long plaited sweet loaf, and this is only sold at this time of year. So you have to get it while you can. It's a little like tasting like hot cross buns. English people will know those, but it is like a big, huge plaited loaf. Delicious, just with butter on, super. Other traditional goodies are also something that looks a little bit like cheese scones, if you like, with raisins and mint, and something else which is like biscuits with sesame seeds on top, and they are made on Holy Thursday. These baked goods use up all the eggs and milk that are not allowed to be eaten until the fast is broken. Easter in Cyprus is the most important religious celebration in Cyprus and also in Greece. Greek and Cypriot Easter are the same and always fall in the month of April because we follow the Julian calendar. So this is why our Easter are different to most of the other world. So we use the Julian calendar to calculate when Easter will be. The period of fasting before Easter starts during the month of February at carnival time, which is the period of fasting before Easter. This is the time of Great Lent, and on Green Monday, the fasting officially begins and lasts for 40 days. The first week is called Meat Week. This is the last time you can eat meat. The second week is Cheese Week, and also the last week to eat cheese and other dairy products before Easter. So that is basically it. And Good Friday is the day of the burial of Christ, and there's a candlelit procession of a shrouded funeral coffin which winds its way through the streets and then goes on to the church, and that's followed by all the people in a procession. Easter Sunday, the midnight mass on Easter Saturday, Sunday morning, is the most important day of all and is a time for rejoicing and celebrating the resurrection of Christ. Everyone rejoices, saying, "Christ has risen," to each other. To this you reply, "Truly he has risen." There are fireworks and then a candle-lit procession through the streets. Afterwards, everyone goes home to enjoy a special meal. The 40 days of fasting is broken by eating a special food, Easter soup of lamb and avgo lemoni, which is basically dried red eggs and Easter foods. Easter Sunday celebrates the end of the 40 days of fasting, which began on Green Monday, today. A great feast is had by all. Most families and friends cook roast lamb in ovens, or the lamb is barbecued on spits. Chocolate Easter eggs are also enjoyed, and many people make a picnic and go to the beach, swim, or relax. So the chocolate Easter eggs aren't a main thing here. They're not a big thing. You're more likely to find that children are actually given candles, the long religious church candles. And in the last few years, we now see that the candles that are bought for children normally come in a gift presentation box with a little toy type thing with it, which really isn't the traditional way at all. And the candles are decorated really beautifully, so some children keep them, some use them. Easter eggs, chocolate eggs, still not a big thing. You'll see a few in the shops, and I do mean very few, but that is obviously more for marketing of other country residents that now live in Cyprus. So chocolate eggs, not a thing at all. We have BC Treasure Trails here. Thank you for coming here. That's Jason saying hello to everyone. Can't stay on the road today. Okay, you take it easy if you're on the road. And here's a special hello just for you. So thank you for being here. Even if it is to say hello, that means the world to me. So thank you that. Going somewhere nice, Jason. Jason often goes and finds things like wooden cabins and really lovely places. So do go and take a look at his channel if you haven't been there before. Go over and say hello. Okay, let's move on. What should we do now? Let's do this. So today we're going to talk about sage. Sage. Does anyone grow sage? He's going to the dentist. Oh, well, I hope what happens to you doesn't. I hope it doesn't happen to you what happened to me. I went for a checkup on Friday at a hospital, and when I was there, I was like, what are you doing? They're like, oh, give you an anaesthetic. And I had to have some treatment. That was not the dentist. But I hope all goes well. Yes, Steve and Tina are concurring. Okay, so we're going to talk about sage. Do not use too much when you use sage, because it can then overpower other flavours. Sage can be either a perennial or an annual, depending on the climate. It grows from 1 foot to 3 feet tall, so it can be quite big, and as wide as between 2 and 3 foot. We have Mr. J in the house. Hello, Mr. J. How nice to see you here. So let's say a special hello to, I'm on the wrong page. Let's say a special hello to Hanging with Mr. J. Guys, do go and have a look at his channel. Yes. Have you got a new icon there, Mr. J? I think you've got a new icon. I'm pretty sure that's a new icon you have there. Okay, so sage, it does best when there is full sun, and it's best to grow it in pots. Jason likes sage. You be careful if you're driving there, Jason. Sausage. Sage sausage, yes. This is how I know sage mostly is like a herb in stuffing and things like that. That's how I use it. Yeah, so as I say, with many types of herbs, it's best to grow them in pots because they don't like to be waterlogged. So therefore, if you grow them in pots, you can see how watered they are. You can just put your finger in and feel if they're moist. They're a herb that likes to dry out, and as I always say, don't let them get their feet wet. So you don't like to be paddling, so do that. And I did say on a herb we were talking about last, if you're a little unsure or you put it outside in a climate where there's lots of rain, excuse me, then put lots of gravel in the bottom of the pot, and then your soil or your growing compound, and then the sage or whatever herb, because then if you suddenly get torrential rain and it happens to be outside, it will drain thoroughly. So do check that they're not waterlogged. They recommend it lasts 3 to 5 years. Now, something like my basil and my rosemary, I don't let them really go more than 2 years. I then start sowing or getting new herbs, because it's always better to have fresh anyway, and then you can let the older ones go to seed and you've got a nice new fresh one that you've grown yourself. So it's always best to rejuvenate them as well, for sure. So that's something to consider. And you might be in a climate where a lot of these herbs die out in the winter anyway, completely. So take that into consideration. If you are keeping them, then cut them back in early spring. And the shoots cut back to about 5 centimetres is best if you're going to keep it going and growing to a nice fat bush. You want it fatter rather than taller, and you can pinch out any flower heads. If you're going to take cuttings, take soft wood cuttings in the springtime, and they should produce roots fairly quickly when they're planted out. And you can grow them also in sand, so that's something to consider. If you pot them straight into sand with a little bit of water, that helps. Now, eating them, I'm always interested in what you can eat raw and what parts of plants you can eat, because sometimes people don't realise you can eat stems or roots of certain plants and vegetables and wild flowers and herbs. So people do different things. For example, I'm always eating carrot tops, the leaves of beetroots. They are absolutely awesome. Fry them down, but do know as many greens that you cook, they do reduce greatly. So you can have a frying pan like piled high with beetroot leaves. You fry them down and they're like little bit in the bottom. So I eat all my vegetable leaves. You can even eat zucchini and squash leaves, but you have to pull the veins out of those. They're not as tasty. But radish leaves you can eat, carrot leaves, and beetroot leaves are actually really lovely. I really like those. So yes, sage, if you eat it raw, it can be a little pungent, so be aware of that. The flowers you can have as a garnish in salads or sauces, and it is always preferable to cook sage, and as Jason says, sausage. Make your sausages, put all your herbs in if you make your own sausages. Does anyone make their own sausages from scratch? Do let me know, particularly if you've got animals and you use your animals for food. I'd be interested if anyone actually makes their own sausages from scratch. Sage is also nice eaten fried in butter, so that's just a little way of having it like that. The best time to multiply your sage is July to late summer. You mustn't let the plant bloom. So that Steve's saying no, he doesn't make his own sausages, but I bet he wishes he did. We have, would you believe, Lincolnshire sausages in Cyprus. They're one of Mike's favourite. But yeah, if I had meat, that I don't have animals, but if I had meat, I think that is something I would like. It's my own sausages. I could put my different spices and herbs and things in. What else? Oh, sage. It can get aphids and powdery mildew. But again, these are things normally because they've become too moist. Like when you have new seeds and you get little mossy green bits, or you get that white cobweb stuff, or you get those little gnat things. It's because things are too moist. Sage is very good if you have deer or other animal issues. If you've got animals coming in your garden, sage is very good for that. Deers particularly don't like sage, but I always say, oh, what's that shrub I grow? Oh gosh, what's the big shrub I grow everywhere? That is the best thing to defend deers and other animals. The goats won't eat it. It'll come to me in a minute. Steve saying just sage and onion stuffing for the turkey out the box. Do you know what? That's my favourite. But we do sage and onion stuffing out the box, same as you. And then for me, I also like sausage meat. So Mike buys before Christmas the Lincolnshire sausages, slice them, take the innards out of that, and that's our sausage meat. Because I do like sausage meat and stuffing at Christmas. So we don't actually stuff the turkey. We do like a casserole dish of stuffing and a casserole dish of sausage meat. Oh, I'm getting hungry now. And then we have that, and we have chicken now. It's more affordable for us. We have chicken for Christmas dinner, but we do roast potatoes and parsnips and all the trimmings. Oh, Mike likes to do a Yorkshire pudding for Christmas. So that. Try to think of the plant. What's the blooming plant I grow everywhere? In my videos, they're pink, great big pinks, stuffing on the side. You keep your activities to yourself, Steve. Once sage is established in its second year, so it takes a year to really get going, it actually then goes very crazy. It's quite vigorous then, and it becomes a very deeply rooted herb. So once it's established, after a couple of years, that's it. So make sure you then, if you do decide to plant it in the ground, again, put lots of gravel down in the hole where you're going to bury it to stop the waterlog. To get the seeds from it, it has purple flowers, and then obviously once they die, you can collect the stems, dry the stems on a towel in a cool area, and then once dried, collect a seed from each flower pod and store the seeds. And sage, as we've said, goes well with meat. So as we said, sausage, you always think of sage as Steve's saying, sausages or stuffing. That's really what it's best for. And I have asked Ashley's allotment diaries. Ashley's on here quite a lot, supports my channel, and I asked him for his. He was saying how quick and easy it is to make soup. I've been looking at soup makers because I've seen them. I didn't know such a thing existed, but they are too powerful for solar, so they have no use to me. I think I saw they are different prices, but the cheaper ones only make like one portion or two very small portions. My idea was to make a lot and then freeze it. That was my idea. Make all different types of soup, freeze them all up differently. If either one of us wants soup or might want soup that things I can't eat in it, I could make my own ones. I could make different ones for him, store them up in my freezer, and that I wanted to experiment with all the new herbs I'm getting, which is why you're getting lots of info on herbs at the moment, because I'm trying to take in herb information, stuffing on the side. Oh dear, you are so funny. You make me laugh. Okie dokie, let's move on. And let's do this. Okie doke, I have 3 little ones for you today. 3 little ones. And remember, these are from the After Dinner Speeches book that I have. The first one is, this was told by the Archbishop Fisher at a Guildhall banquet in November 1957. And it says, I heard a schoolboy, in answer to a question on hereditary, say, well, sir, hereditary is like this. If your grandfather had no children and your father had no children, you would be likely to have no children too. And the second one is just a quote, and that is, it is seldom the coldest girl who gets the mink coat. I think that's quite clever. That's clever in many different ways. It is seldom the coldest girl who gets the mink coat. Yes, think about that one. Steve's laughing at the first one. And the last one today is doctor to patient. And the doctor says, there is a 50-50 chance of success in this operation, but you will be okay. The patient said, why will I be okay? And the doctor said, the first 50 have already died. Oh dear, that's quite funny. Oh dear. Okie doke, let's move along. And let's have a look at, comments. Steve's laughing. Let's take a look at this. Okay, just time for a sip of drink there. Let's go to the bird book. These are English birds, but as we know, birds immigrate. That's not right. Emigrate. Birds go to different countries at different weather times of the year. So today is the house martin. The house martin. Now, I often get mixed up with house martin and swallow. So let's do them both today, and then we can clarify for ourselves the differences. This is a house martin. There he is. It's a house martin. I'll put my light on dimmer. You might be able to see a bit better with my switch. Let's see, go down. There. Okay, so house martin. Length 12.5 centimetres, which is 5 inches. And he is part of the swallow family. Voice. There is a soft twittering song and chirping contact notes between mates and between parents and offspring. He has a blue-black above, white underneath, and he can do a steep climb to snap up insects. In the days before buildings provided support for its nest, the house martin occupied cliffs and rock outcrops where colonies can still be seen today. Nowadays, it often builds under the eaves or on a window frame of a house. The householder who is tired of cleaning soiled windows should fix a splashboard over the window. The house martin has a shorter tail streamers than a swallow, so there's a difference. The white rump is conspicuous in flight. Feeding. House martins feed on flying insects, mainly flies and aphids, but they may pick prey from the ground. Typically, a house martin suddenly climbs steeply, snaps an insect, and then glides down. Nesting. Soon after house martins have returned in spring, They prospect for suitable nest sites. The cup nest is built with pellets of mud from the edge of puddles or ponds and is lined with feathers and grasses collected in the air. When the nestlings are grown, you can see their heads appear at the entrance. Adults try to lure them from the nest by hovering in front of it and calling. Eventually, an adult bird lands at the nest. The youngster emerges and flies away with it. Later, you can see the fledglings meeting their parents in the air to retrieve the food. Nest box. Place bowl nest underneath the eaves for the house martins. Feeding. House martins feed on flying insects, mainly flies and aphids, but they may pick prey from the ground. Typically, a house martin suddenly climbs steeply, snaps an insect, and glides down. Invitation to fly. An adult house martin, which is not necessarily a parent, beckons to the nestlings as it flies past, tempting them to leave the safety of the nest for the first time. Nesting information, late May to September, 1 or 2 broods, 2 to 5 white eggs, 15 days incubation, both sexes, 22 to 32 days fledging, and time until independent, unknown, because they fly away, I guess. So there's some more pictures. Let's put my hand over the light, you might be able to see better. And there's some pictures. There, that's the nest at the bottom. Okay, let's do then the swallow. Length 19 centimetres, so he's quite a bit longer than the 12.5 centimetres of house martin, and that's 7.5 inches, as opposed to house martin was 5 inches. He can be noted now, his head, we mostly have swallows here because I see the colour of the head. Distinct russet throat and forehead, and this is a female. Recognition, long tail streamers and more pointed wings distinguish an adult swallow from its close relatives, the sand and house martin. So that colour head is how I know the difference between the swallow. That head is very clear, the colouring of a swallow. And to remind you, that's the house martin. So I would say the house martin is more like a magpie colour, but look at the little drawn picture that shows body in the air, the distinct white versus the swallow there. When the swallow, the traditional herald of spring, arrives, you're most likely to see it over lakes and reservoirs. Well, there's a lot up here and there's no lakes or reservoirs, where there's abundant supply of early insects. Occasionally, there are reports of swallows remaining behind in winter in Europe rather than migrating back to Africa. We have them all year here. Voice. The song is a pleasant, rather quiet twittering. The contact call is a repeated sweet, sweet, sweet. Now, my cat Pebbles, and you may not believe this, but my pet cat Pebbles sits under the swallows when they sit on lines or wires, and she copies them exactly right. I have never yet managed to film her, but I'm hoping to do that. She talks to them in swallow language. Feeding. The swallow forages for insects in the air, either swooping low or circling overhead in graceful movements that are punctuated by swift, jinking turns. The long-tail feathers provide great flight maneuverability, making the swallow more efficient at catching prey than swifts or martins. If flying insects are scarce, the swallow may take insects from leaves or the ground. Blue bottle-sided flies are preferred, that's handy, but butterflies, moths and other large insects are also caught. Greenfly and other tiny insects are hunted by swallows in the cold weather. Nesting. The beams and ledges of buildings have almost replaced cliffside ledges as sites for the saucer of mud and grass. During a dry spell in the garden, water a patch of soil to provide mud. The male circles above his chosen site, singing to attract a female. Sometimes eggs are laid in a neighbour's nest. Nest box, you can make a bowl nest. Feeding the young. The nestlings are fed with balls of insects from the parents' throats. I don't know if you can see because it's quite dark by my fingers here. Yes, I think you can see that. You can see the baby birds being fed and the nest. So there's that. And then we have nesting information, May to August, 2 or 3 broods, 4 or 5 red spotted white eggs, 14 to 15 days incubation, female, 19 to 21 days fledging, and several weeks until they are independent. So that's the birds for today. I hope you're enjoying going through different birds and maybe learning something new today. Hey, Giovanni's Garden, hello there. Thank you for being here. Let's say a very special hello to you too. Thank you for being here. So do go over and check out the channel. It's a very good channel indeed. I enjoy seeing the bits going on that channel. Okay, let's go on. Let's see what we got next. Let's go on to this. So today I have tips on ironing. We've been outside in the garden. I've told you some things about sage today, growing sage, and we've seen the birds. So let's go indoors. How many of you actually still iron? Who irons? There are some things you have to iron, a few clothes items. Perhaps if you rent out accommodation, perhaps you iron sheets. Do you have an iron press? What do you do for those items you have to? There's so many clothes now you can just hang up and they don't need ironing. Who actually irons? But here are 4 tips about ironing. Number 1, when there is no iron available, you can remove creases from a garment by hanging it up in a bathroom whilst you have a hot bath, because steam makes creases drop out. The second one, before putting on a new ironing board cover, wrap the board surface in aluminium or aluminum foil. This will reflect the heat and the iron will move more easily over the board. Don't forget as well, if you want to iron something that might stick to the iron, just put a very thin old tea towel over the top first. A newly ironed garment will crease again very quickly, so avoid wearing or packing it for several hours. I didn't know that. So if you've just ironed something, it's more likely to crease quickly. Didn't know that. And the last one, when folding garments, make your folds crosswise and not lengthwise where possible. The creases will then drop out more easily when unpacked and hung. And I do know a lot of people try to roll clothes now because that also helps. What's that? What's what? Oh, what's that? An iron. What's an iron? Oh, what's an iron? You know, Steve, if someone just scrolled back like I do and just see what everyone's talking about, all I can see is Steve saying, yes, stuffing on the side. And Jason put sausage. quite funny really to sometimes just scroll back and see what there is now, what's in the chat. Quite funny. Steve and Tina say, I make sure clothes are put on the washing line stretched out. We don't iron. We literally, as you say, we hang stuff straight out on the washing line, and as soon as they're washed, I think that could be a thing. If you leave things wet in a washing machine, they're more likely to crease. So just hang things straight out if you've got the weather. Do you ever get that there, Steve, where it's so cold that your clothes actually freeze? I've seen that, and I saw a funny video the other day, someone I watch occasionally, and they'd gone camping in Colorado. So it was only a few weeks back, and they went camping high up in Colorado where it was like ice and snow. And one of the guys had actually got soaking wet his trousers, so he took them off and changed before he went to bed, and he hung them outside. And when he got up in the morning, they were still, because they were wet, they were kind of still leg shapes and his body shape, and he could stand them up. It looked like they were being worn, but no one was in them. Weather is like UK here. Oh, disastrous, terrible, really cold. Oh dear. Oh dear. Right, I didn't know how cold you get. What's your like coldest temperature? I don't know what that even is now. Cold. We never get below 0, and if we get to 0, that's like freezing for us. Very rare. We don't get close to 0. No, don't know what minus means. I think we've been down to 0 maybe once, maybe twice in Campbell River. -10. Ooh, I don't know that. For me, it's not always the cold, it's the wind chill. If it's windy, it's that bitterness. I just don't do cold. Don't do cold. Don't do wet. Don't do wet either. Don't do wet. Okay, let's move on. Let's do a bit of this. Okay, Steve saying it's wet there. Ooh, we don't like wet. Okay, well, on my other channel, Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty, I've just started again I've done a whole series of them, but I had a break for a while because I had to do, I've got old videos that were on actual videotapes. Yes, videotapes, and Mike's been converting them for me, and then he imports that onto my computer, and then I have to go through all the footage and then make like YouTube videos from my old footage. And I've got so much old stuff I want to share, but a lot of it, if it's past stuff, it goes on my other channel, Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty. And I'd stopped because I'd done a whole, it's about 3-4 hours, some of the content he puts on for me. So I'd finished one of those, then I hadn't gone through another one, but I've just started going through another one. And so do look out, there will be more now coming in the series of this. So that's on my other channel that I've just popped there, Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty, and that's where you can find Pip and Paws and go right through from their lives when I first got them as tiny puppies, right through to them having puppies of their own, and one of them became famous and the other one did other things too, so look out for that. So I'm just starting to edit the next lot, but go back, it's in the right order when I first got them, so go and look, they got their own playlist and have a look at those. What here as well. Okay, so what else to watch? Let's take that down, or people think they're on the wrong channel. There, that's me. So let's go through and see what else is on that other channel. So that's Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty channel, and catch up on what I've posted and what's coming up. So today I posted on that channel, and I posted Early Morning in Cyprus, and that is birds, orange blossom, flowers in bloom, and one of my cats is in there. So that's a nice chill out scenic video of blossom and flowers in bloom in my garden. So have a look at that. And the video prior to that, again, it's another little chill out type video where it's an upcycling project that I'm doing. I've done the first half and Mike's going to do the second half, and it's me doing the first half, and it's productive but chill out because I've just put music in the background of me doing it. There's no talking, but it's a nice chill out but with production involved. And then coming up next on that channel will be my fruit trees, and a way that you can have a fruit tree no matter where you live, and whether or not you have a garden is irrelevant. So do take a look at that. That one will be coming up. But let's look at this channel. And today I posted, it's a drive round Limassol, which is the main town. I come under that jurisdiction, but I'm miles away. I'm over an hour away from where people think Limassol is the centre of Limassol. But it's a drive round there doing different chores. So you get to see lots of the landscape and the area in town, what it looks like, because so often you just see the rural side of Cyprus where I live. And because if we want to go into town, it takes so long and petrol to get there, that Mike always plans a route and we do as many things as possible driving round. So you'll see the sort of chores we do when we do go into town. I show you places we stop off at and tell you why we're there. So you will see that. For example, one of the things at the end, we go to a garden centre. So you'll see lots of different places in Cyprus if you go and look there. And prior to that was another shopping haul, just general things that we buy, not food, but bits and pieces, clothes, anything like that. And you might get a good idea of price comparison to your country. And then next coming up is finally, because I have to post some things in the right order, and sometimes I do loads of things and other times I'm flat on my back and don't do anything apart from sit here, is my auction bid win that I got for only €1. Yes, I won something in an auction. And they often have many things at our auction site, and it says estimate price €1 to €100, and that's just the general thing. They put that over a large amount of items that the auction house has actually acquired, whether it be house clearance or whatever, and it could be big bits of furniture, could be little things, could be all sorts of things, but they just want rid. And obviously saying €1 to €100 as the estimate price gets loads of people in there bidding, and nobody else bid. And because they started at €1, I had to win it for €1. So go and see what I won for €1. We go and collect that in the previous video that I've just said the drive around, but obviously you'll get the full unboxing of it in its own video. So do go and have a look there on my channel. I thank you in advance for taking time to look at my little channel. Thank you very much. Okay, let's have a look. While we're on my channels, every month I talk about a particular video or a playlist. I talk about a particular playlist because a lot of people say we like to just put a playlist on. So this is a playlist that I'm currently showing you, drawing your attention to, because some people don't actually look in the playlist segment and not always aware of what type of videos I have amongst my whole channel. Some people think I'm only a growing channel. Some people think it's only about Cyprus. So this is one of my playlists that I'm showing you today. So I hope you find something useful there. If there's ever a type of bug I haven't got to yet and you want to know how to get rid of it, then please send me a comment under any video. Okay, let's finish with this today. Okay, today we're going to be asking for the game, how many things can you list in the comments if you're watching later, or in the chat if you're watching now? How many things can you list that fly? Can be anything, but can it fly? Whatever you can think of. And let's see what answers we get. So how many things can you think of that fly? So I'm going to start with a fly. A fly flies. How many things can you think of? A paper plane. A house, Martin. Someone's been listening. Thank you, Steve and Tina. Paper plane. A hot air balloon. Hot air balloon. A dart. How about a dart? Dart flies. kite. Fly a kite. Let's go fly a kite up to the highest height. Let's go fly a kite and send it soaring up to the atmosphere, up where the air is clear. Oh, 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 let's go fly a kite. What's that from? You know, a bat. That's a good one. Bat. An aeroplane and a helicopter. An airship. Let's see. Superman. Superman. A butterfly. A bee. A wasp. A flying fish. A flying fish. Indeed. He flies through the air with the greatest of ease, the daring young man on the flying trapeze. What's that from? Dumbo. Did Dumbo not fly? Yeah, did Dumbo fly? Could he fly? I don't know now. Did Dumbo fly? That was one of the saddest films I watched, probably after, I would say the saddest film was Bambi. I'm traumatised by Bambi. Bambi, Watership Down, and what did I just say? Dumbo. It's anything, why do they always make mothers die? And like Simba was like, one of his parents died. Why do they have to do that? I know it's life, but, you know, a bat who got bugs. He did. Oh, he did fly. Yeah, I forgot. I remember Timothy Mouse in his hat. And crows. We say crows because obviously crows were in that. What else? Flies. 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 What else? Flies. What else? Flies. 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 Unicorns. Pegasus. Pegasus flies. It's amazing how many people think unicorns and what's the other things? Mermaids are real, really. What about fairies? Fairies fly. Fairies fly. Angels. Angels fly. Angels fly. What else flies? Passengers on an aeroplane fly. Yes, because you say you're going to fly to somewhere. Yes. Fly. Buzz Lightyear. Buzz Lightyear flies. Some caterpillars fly on a silk thread in the wind. Jolly good. Wow. Dragonflies fly. Clue in the name. Dragonflies. Eagles. Let's say birds. Birds. Birds fly. My owls fly. What other things fly? Bullets. Would you say bullets fly? They're propelled. They don't fly, do they? They're propelled. But then I could say the same about darts. I said darts. Do they fly? You get fishing flies, but they don't fly. What else flies? Sorry, Buzz had wings. Oh, but hey, the ground where he hit the ground when he tried to fly. Oh, did he? Oh, oh, Thunderbirds, they fly. All the Thunderbirds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is in space. So technically, oh no, no, Dawn, you got that wrong. 1 went into space because it's a rocket. 2 flies. 1 flies. No, I got that wrong again. 1 flies. 2 flies. 3 is the rocket that Alan usually goes in the air. 4 is the submarine, and 5 is the one permanently in space. So some fly. What about James Bond's car? A car. Did any of his car? Oh, what about the what's it called? Back to the Future. Did that technically fly in any of them? I think the space one, it flew. Did it? I don't really like the later ones of that. There's one like space or something. Maybe that flew. I just thought of another one then. What did I just think of then? Daleks. In the end, they flew, and that was a bit sad. I went off them a bit. I suppose it was progression. You think all those years they would progress and be able to fly. Were they elevated? Did they fly? No, they elevated. I don't know the workings of how they elevated. There must be more like superhero type things. Wonder Woman didn't fly, did she? She just kept spinning around on the spot, making holes in the ground. Don't think she flew, did she? Have you seen the cat copter? No, he mounted his dead cat to drone. That doesn't sound very nice. Is this real? Is this a real thing? Oh, don't like that. Drones fly. Drones fly. Oh, Steve, I only had limited time, but I thought I must put on that, what did you call it? Vinyl Cafe. I only briefly had a minute. I thought I must look that up. I found Backstage Vinyl Cafe, Backstage. And I thought, I don't think that's it. That seemed to be talking about the Vinyl Cafe. So I'll go in again and check it out. I'll check it out. YouTube. Oh, don't think I want to watch that if it's real. That's not nice. What about the Magnificent Men in their fly machines? They go up dilly dilly, up and down dilly down down. Up, down, flying around, looping the loop and something else. Kind of funny. Oh, is it? Is it? I don't know if it's real or not. What about cannonballs? When they're putting cannons and shot out, are they potentially flying? Are they flying? What else? A lot of things are propulsion rather than flying. I think flying basically is if something can stay in the air. Propulsion is if it couldn't stay in the air, I would think, is the difference. Because throwing things isn't technically flying, is it? So if you throw something like a ball, that's not flying, it's propulsion. So it's got to be able to stay in the air, in the atmosphere. Oh, what about a helium balloon? A helium balloon. Is that flying? Not really. That's the gas keeping it up. I get very picky now with myself. That's not flying. No, no, we're getting scientific now. What about, it doesn't really fly. I was going to say that moth, not moss, what do you call it? In the desert when tumbleweed. Tumbleweed, would you say that flies? Does tumbleweed fly? It's blown through the air, so again it's propelled, isn't it? Propelled? Propulsion. Propulsion. Like when you use a, not crossbow, what do you call it? Slingshot with a stone. It's propulsion. That's not flying. That's not flying. Rolls. Rolls, yes, they roll. They roll. Roll. I think we've kind of done all we can think of. If anyone's watched this back later and you think of something we haven't come up with, or you want to give me the scientific facts of propulsion and so on and so forth, then please do. We've gone over an hour, going into crazy times. Okay, so I think we're finished there for today. I hope I've enlightened you on the science of flying and versus propulsion. So I'm going to finish there for today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you those who were able to come in on the chat as well. Very much appreciated, so I don't just waffle on by myself. Oh dear. Thank you for being here. And don't forget, guys, if you are interested in coming up at all on my lives, you only need to email me like this. So there, and if you want my email at all, always just pop it in a comment and I will always put it up for you. So thanks again for watching. As I always say, I'm so grateful when I realise how many YouTube channels there are there, let alone other social media, and you choose to spend some time watching my videos. So thank you so much for that. And I will see you here on Wednesday. Bye for now.